Life underwriting principles and concepts. This chapter aims to provide an understanding of the concept of life insurance underwriting. You will also learn about the process of assessing individual risk, classification of risks, and the possible outcomes of the underwriting process. Learning outcomes. Understand the concept of underwriting, describe the process of assessing individual risk, understand the classification of risks, explain the possible outcomes of the underwriting process. Understand the concept of the underwriting. Concept of underwriting. Life insurance underwriting is the process of assessing, selecting, classifying, evaluating, measuring, and rating the level of risk associated with an individual. Based on the above, a decision is taken as to whether or not to accept the risk. Underwriting concept classifying, evaluating, measuring, rating the level of risk. In case of underwriting, an assumption is made towards the mortality of an individual while excluding unexpected factors such as accidents. Based on these mortality tables, underwriters make estimations about an individual's mortality and take a decision of accepting or declining the risk. Life insurance underwriting is mainly concerned with two aspects: evaluating of the risk associated with providing life insurance cover to an individual and pricing the risk. Pricing of underwriting. Process of underwriting. For performing the task of underwriting, insurance companies hire professionals who are referred to as underwriters. In life insurance underwriting, an underwriter follows the steps discussed below to decide whether to accept or reject a particular risk. Process of underwriting. Process of underwriting: classification of risk, standard or substandard, rating the risk, mortality low or mortality high or mortality substantially high, taking a decision, accept the risk or accept the risk with special terms or postpone the risk or decline the risk. Premium to be charged: standard premium or extra premium over standard premium. Classification of risk. Based on the information collected by the underwriter from different sources, he can classify the risk related to an individual as standard risk or substandard risk. The various sources from which underwriters can gather information for assessing the risk are proposal form, insurance agent's confidential report, medical history, and medical examinations reports of the life proposal, that is income statements, that is profit and loss statements, balance sheet, ITRs, form 16, etc. Rating the risk. Once the risk has been classified, the underwriter then needs to measure the level of risk associated with an individual proposal by actuarial means. The underwriter can provide the following ratings to individual cases depending on whether the predictivity mortality is low, predictivity mortality is high, predictivity mortality is substantially high. These ratings are then compared to the mortality tables based on which premiums are charged. Taking a decision on the risk based on the rating estimated by the underwriter, one of the following decisions are taken. Accept the risk if the predictive mortality does not deviate too much when compared to that indicated in the mortality table provided by the actuaries, then the risk is accepted by the underwriter. Accept the risk with special terms. If the mortality risk is found to be higher than the standard mortality table, then the underwriter may decide to accept the proposal with some special terms such as loading, that is extra premium, or exclusions, excluding certain risk, etc. Postpone the risk. If the mortality risk is found to be substantially high when compared to the mortality table at the time of applying for a policy, and his condition is likely to improve after a period, then risk can be postponed. This is done in case where the risk is of a kind that may reduce with the passage of time. Decline the risk. If the mortality risk is found to be substantially high when compared to the mortality table, the risk may be declined. This is done in case where the risk is very high and is either predicted to remain static or may increase in the future. In some cases, declinature of the risk is necessitated as no amount of extra premium would be sufficient to take care of the very high extra mortality. The underwriter needs to ensure that the premium that is charged to the policyholder is sufficient to cover the risk associated with the policyholder, as the premium that is collected by the insurance company becomes a part of a common pool from which claims are paid. If an individual is selected in a group that requires him to pay a lower premium than the risk he presents, then the insurance company will have to suffer a loss or underestimation of the risk. Premiums to be charged to the proposer. This is determined from the premium table prepared by actuaries, in which indicative standard premiums for standard risks are given. The following kinds of premium can be charged to the proposer. Substandard standard premium. According to the premium table, the standard premium is charged to individual if the predictive mortality does not deviate much from the standard values when compared to that indicated in the mortality table provided by the actuaries. Extra premium over the standard premium. If the individual life which is underwritten shows a higher mortality than the standard lives in the mortality table, it is termed as substandard risk, and the individual will be required to pay extra premium to cover the additional risk he brings to the common pool or insurance portfolio. Factors considered in life insurance underwriting. The factors that are analyzed while selecting an individual for life insurance cover in the life insurance underwriting are discussed below. Health related factors evaluated for underwriting are medical history of applicant, present medical condition, diagnosis and the treatment details, mental status of the applicant, family history, presence of hereditary diseases present in the family members such as diabetes, blood pressure, etc., and the longevity of the family members. Example: Ajay has a history of certain medical condition. In this case, his application will be assessed, evaluated, and the decision to grant him cover for life insurance or not will be done by the underwriters and will be subject to assessment of his current medical condition, the outcome of his pre-insurance medical tests, income proofs, etc. If the proposal is to be accepted, when the premiums chargeable may be standard or modified terms may be applied. The proposal may be postponed or declined as decided if the information in the documents evaluated to justify. Lifestyle and habits. In this case, the factors evaluated for underwriting are personal habits and avocations, that is, whether they are hazardous in nature, drinking habits, smoking habits, tobacco consumption habits, that is, gutka, snuff, pan masala, etc. High risk hobbies, that is, scuba diving, bungee jumping, etc. Example: Suresh has a high risk hobby such as mountaineering, scuba diving, etc. His proposal may be accepted for life insurance cover by charging a higher premium so as to cover the additional risk that he brings to the common pool or insurance portfolio. If the risk factors are too high, the proposal may be rejected or declined or accepted on other modified terms. Occupation. In this case, The factors evaluated for underwriting are nature of occupation. Karan is suffering from asthma and is employed in a cement factory. He would be considered as a higher risk as compared to a person suffering from asthma and working as a software engineering in an IT firm. Financial condition. The factors evaluated for underwriting are income and expenses, assets and liabilities, existing insurance cover, number of dependents. Manoj's financial record indicates that he is continuously in debt and his expenses consistently exceeded his income and assets. In this case, the underwriter may reject the proposal for insurance cover or even recommend a reduction in the quantum of cover that he can be granted, as Manoj might not be able to pay the premiums for the selected tenure or term of the policy and may also tantamount to overinsurance, invoking an element of moral hazard. Place of residence and foreign travel. The factors evaluated for underwriting are risk levels relating to the location where the individual resides, risk levels relating to location to where the individual is traveling. Example, Girish officially travels to certain foreign locations where the medical infrastructure in these places are poor, political instability exists, the crime rate in these regions is high, or these places are disease prone. These are considered to be high risk as per insurance companies. In this case, Girish's proposal for life insurance will be categorized as high risk and the proposal may either be rejected or accepted with modified terms. Factors considered in life insurance underwriting. Factors considered in life insurance underwriting: health related factors, lifestyle and habits, occupation, financial condition, place of residence and foreign travel.